today we are going to get started with SonarQube, right? And what is exactly a SonarQube, right? And why this is needed and why this is very essential for a DevOps admin to understand and help a developer to improve their efficiency. So SonarQube, you can say it's a tool, राइट एंड बेसिकली उसका काम क्या है, राइट? आपने देखा होगा कि जब भी डेवलपर कोई भी डेवलपमेंट करता है, राइट, एंड ही माइट हैव डन सो मेनी मिस्टेक इन दैट कोडिंग, ठीक है? हो सकता है कहीं उसने पासवर्ड हार्ड कोड कर दिया हो, ठीक है? हो सकता है कि उसने कोड वीक लिखा हो सकता है कि उसने कोड इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडर्ड के अकॉर्डिंग लिखा हो, और हो सकता है कि उसके कोड में कुछ बग्स हों, कुछ उसने ऐसी लाइब्रेरीज इंक्लूड कर दी हों, राइट? सो हाउ टू वैलिडेट दिस, राइट? दिस वॉज द प्रॉब्लम बिफोर अस कि हम कैसे तुरंत डेवलपर्स की गलतियों को पकड़ें और उनको उनके कोड में वो सारे फिक्सेस करने के लिए हेल्प करें, राइट? हियर द SonarQube jumps in, right? SonarQube is a tool basically which is, you can say, holds all the industry standard for the Java, ठीक है? As soon as you run the SonarQube test with the Jenkins, what it will does is जितने भी आपकी vulnerabilities हैं, आपकी कोड में weakness हैं, आपके कोड में smells हैं, it will find all your vulnerabilities and tell you कि इतनी इतनी problems आपके कोड में हैं and you have to fix it, right? This will also tell you the code coverage कि आप you can include multiple tools with Jenkins also कि आपकी कोड कवरेज इतनी है, आपका कोड सक्सेस 60% गुड, इट्स योर कोड इज 60% गुड, 70% गुड, 80% गुड एंड 90% गुड. It will tell each and everything about your code, and that will help you to improve the efficiency of the developer as well as improve your productivity, as well as you can say improve your code. Now hope you understood what exactly SonarQube is, right? So now how to get started with this, right? So first we will understand the what basic requirement before we get started with doing the SonarQube. We should have at least server with minimum 2 GB of RAM and one virtual CPU. Either you can go with the PostgreSQL, Oracle, or any of the database you are looking for, or MySQL has been recently deprecated because the last session I took, I used MySQL in that session, but the MySQL has been deprecated now, and the SonarQube will no longer provide the support for the MySQL. That's what I am going to use the PostgreSQL here, and the version of the PostgreSQL should be 9.3 or greater. You can use OpenJDK 11 or JDK 11 or JRE 11. That's totally up to you which version you are going to use, and make sure all the SonarQube process you are going to run, that should be owned by the SonarQube itself. Do not run any process with the root, because with the SonarQube server you are going to run the Elasticsearch server, right, which is by default the part of that, and if you run that with the root user, that is not going to start it, right? So let me quickly jump into the machine, right? So I'm gonna take you with two ways, right? One way is you can use the public database, right? So whatever the database it creates by default, I mean SonarQube, you can go with that. You do not need to create any database and anything. So everything SonarQube will does for you, right? The another way, you just create the database you want, right, and do the things. So in the first video or in this session, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the everything default. So in the next session we will see how we can integrate the SonarQube with you can say the database. So the first thing, whenever you are going to download the SonarQube, so just write the SonarQube download and go to the SonarQube site here, right? By default here you will see the community edition, and the next you will see the developer edition. If you scroll it down, you will see even the enterprise editions available here, right? So in the session we are going with the community edition, right? And even if you need some old versions, so you can go here and you can get the older version from here if your organization need this, right? All the versions would be available here. So we're gonna go with the latest version. So you can click on the download community edition, or you can stop this if you don't want in the local, right? You can right click here, copy link address, and you can try doing the wget directly here. Right, so you can see this is the SonarQube chip. This will take a couple of seconds to get downloaded. Sounds good, right? So the first thing you need is you need JDK 11, right? So that's totally up to you if you wanna go as per your requirements. If you want to install the OpenJDK, you can do yum install Java 11 OpenJDK 11. Here you will not need to define any Java home or anything. So I'm gonna use this for this session here. That's totally up to you because I will take more time to download the JDK 11. So, but you can use the JDK 11 for this, right? So you can go ahead and click yes, and so it says already my Java 11 is available, right? So the next instruction you have to perform is you have to increase the limit for the user Sonar, because we are going to create one Sonar user, and I have already created that user. If you see here, my SonarQube user is already there. So I am going to increase the limit, right, to open the file. So what you need to do is vi/etc security and limit.conf, right? Just go at the end and add one line here. Sonar is the user, right? And hyphen no file and give the file numbers here. So I'm giving 65,535. Right. Once you are done with this, so you need to perform one more step, which is basically increasing the map count of your file, because if because Elasticsearch uses mmapf directories by default to store its indexes, right? तो अगर आप इसका साइज नहीं बढ़ाओगे and you'll not specify this size, तो आप जब भी SonarQube start करोगे it will go down. So now you have a two option to do this: either open the etc/sysctl.conf file or just run this command here, right? If you want to edit it, so just copy these lines from here, open the vi/etc/sysctl.conf file, right? Add it somewhere here, right, wherever you want. But if you don't want to keep it here, right, if you want it in the runtime, you go ahead and just run the command. So that's totally up to you how you want to do that, right? So the next step would be for you to initialize the PostgreSQL. So I'm not going to do in this session. We'll do this step in the next session, right? So now once you are done with this, guys, so what I'm going to do is I am going to extract my SonarQube here. So you can see we have SonarQube available here. So what you need to do is unzip space SonarQube. I am not doing each and everything because this way, once you integrate with the Jenkins, you will be more comfortable with this. Then we will go with the with the database and other things, right? Now the SonarQube has been installed, extracted here. You can just move it to SonarQube just to make the easy accessible directories, right? So once you are done with this and you already have a Sonar user, as I initially said, you should not run any process with the root user. So what I'm going to do is chown sonar:sonar and the SonarQube, make it recursive also. Sounds good. And now check the permission. Now the SonarQube is owned by the Sonar user, right? So next what you need to do is su-l sonar. Now navigate to the opt SonarQube, cd bin. Inside bin, if this is Windows, Linux and what, So whatever the OS version you have, you can use the script from there. So mine is the Linux. I am going inside the Linux, CentOS, whatever, right? And here is the script to start and stop the SonarQube. So you can give a try. Start sonar.sh start stop, right? You can see it says SonarQube has been started, but to validate it, so let's go two directories back in the log directory and see what's happening there in this with the SonarQube. So it has starting it, it's not yet started. So you can see this is loading the Elasticsearch module at this moment. That you can see the Sonar Elastic search process is up now. So now it's trying to start the web server and other things. If you see here, so this takes some time to start the process, right? So make sure whenever you are starting the Sonar, go to the Sonar logs and validate them and see if this is cleanly up. You can see the web process is also up, right? And now you can see the process is up, SonarQube is up, right? So let's go two directories back, right, in the logs, right? Here you have access log, you have Elasticsearch log, you have web logs, and you have CE log, community edition logs, and you have Sonar log. So make sure you just go through these logs and see if everything is fine, right? And no exception is there, right? Everything, database, initialization, everything has been properly. So you can see here no issue, right? All looks good. In the same way, you have to see the Sonar logs that you already have seen, right? That there is no errors, right? To shift G and go at the end and see everything is fine. You can see there is no error, right? And once you are done with this, you can check the ps-elf Java process, and you will see most of the SonarQube process are running here, right? And just go up and see there are so many processes, right? So these all are the SonarQube process which are running. Now the next time is to access this SonarQube server. So to access this SonarQube server, what you need is you need your public IP or the IP of your host where you have installed it. So go here with 9000 port, because by default the SonarQube will run in 9000 port. So once you are logged in with this, right, you will see this is the page. You will see here you need to click on login here, right? And the default password would be admin. You should reset it later on and disable the anonymous access for this. So you can see SonarQube is up and running successfully. And if you see at the right hand side, quality gates, security, and so many things are there, right? So the first thing now for us to install the SonarQube. I mean, SonarQube has been installed. Now the time for us to integrate the SonarQube with Jenkins, right? So what is our next step?